Alright, hello, welcome. Sorry, I'm a minute late. It doesn't matter. There's no one here. Never is. This is my personal video log. Um, I guess I'm now organizing it as a show. Eventually there'll be people here, but it does not matter to me right now. I'm working overtime trying to make actual money. But eventually I will put more time and effort into this community. My name's Frank. This is Premarket Wake Up. My community is called No More Paper Trading. It is a totally free community. I'm not going to ever sell anything. The whole point of me starting this in the first place, well, that was one of the major points, is that beginning traders can find a place to learn, to ask questions without being sold anything. I want to become a profitable trader, not a profitable teacher. And the other reason was so I become more professional, so I learn. And right now nobody else is joining. I had a bunch of bots, a bunch of salespeople, oddly enough. If you happen to find this, link is in the description for the Discord. I hope to one day build a small word-of-mouth community of traders who are very, very serious about becoming profitable traders. Anyway, let's get started. Monday morning, my favorite. I'm going to first go over the news that's happening right now, and then I'm going to take a look at overnight futures and key areas going into the open. Today we just have some Fed speeches. I did hear some rumors that the government's open again, U.S. government, but I don't know. We'll check that in a sec. So on the schedule is just some Fed speeches, which I used to block them out completely so I wouldn't trade during these speeches, but it seems more and more that it doesn't really matter the specific time. If they say something significant, it'll come out in the news later anyway, so you'll just have a burst of volatility, maybe. So I don't think I block these out anymore as major events. See what else is in the news. Okay, so we do have Senate bill that could end the shutdown. I haven't been keeping track of why. Why there would be who caused it, why there's a shutdown, what's the whole point, how are we going to get out of it? I really don't care. Yahoo Finance is saying futures are surging at the prospect of the government coming back online. That could be. I don't know. I'm still bearish right now. I spent last week entering a lot of bearish positions with hedges, of course. You always hedge. Like any good trade, my stops are in. If the stops get hit, I'm out of the trade. Simple as that. Another news. Talking about a $2,000 dividend for people. That's stupid. Just pay off the government debt. You're just going to print more money. Terrible idea. But of course, printing money makes market go up. the Suez Canal was closed. Let's check it out. Alright, yeah, they're just discussing opening it up again or keeping it safe again. I didn't know it was unsafe. Another news, CoreWeave is getting its earnings coming up. This is, full disclosure, this is one of the companies I'm shorting. After last week's sell-off, this is a tough time to be raising the issue of spending on artificial intelligence. But that's precisely what CoreWeave Incorporated's quarterly results after the bell Monday are about to do. We'll see what happens. They plunged 22% last week? See, I had in the beginning of the week would have been a great time to do all this, but I had to do work on figuring out all my hedges and what companies I wanted to short and how much. What the hell's the CRWV? Yeah, they plunged significantly, but I think they're way overvalued for many reasons. A lot of companies are right now. But timing is everything, which is why I put in stops and hedges. So that's today after the close. I will be keeping an eye on that. I shorted Microsoft just because they're a terrible company. I think we will start to see Microsoft's problems coming out soon. I think they lost a lot of customers. They've been losing a lot of customers over the past 2 years with Windows 11. They're betting far too much on ads, and that's it. But there's limits to how much you can make on spying on people. You have to offer a good product first. You might start to see more and more business partners making the investments needed to switch to Linux. Especially because I don't think there's a way. Let's say you're Boeing and you need privacy, strict privacy. Why would you choose Windows 11? There's no option with Windows 11 unless you hack it to turn off telemetry. I don't know. Maybe they don't use it already. But not only that, their Xbox division has been suffering. Their AI products are garbage. All the money they've been putting into them, and they're far behind all the others. We'll see. I've been wrong. What else is in the news? Here's a good case in point. I don't think they know what they're doing at Microsoft. I mean, a lot of CEOs don't really know what they're doing. Microsoft Corp, eager to boost downloads of its Copilot chatbot, has recruited some of the most popular influencers in America to push the message to young consumers that might be summed up as, our AI assistant is as cool as ChatGPT. Oh my God, that's going to fail so bad. You know what? At least if my NVIDIA shorts and my CrowdWeave shorts fail, I'm pretty sure my Microsoft short will pan out. I don't remember if I did a 2 times inverse short or 1 time. I don't know if there is a 2x inverse Microsoft ETF. Microsoft could use the help. The company recently said its family of Copilot assistants attracts 150 million active users each month. Yeah, right. Because it's forced on them. Because it comes with the software and normies don't know how to turn it off. But I would say this is way overinflated. But OpenAI's ChatGPT claims 800 million weekly active users. And Google's Gemini boasts 650 million. I think all these numbers are way overinflated. I bet Google counts if you search on their search engine. They count that as a use. Microsoft has an edge with corporate customers, meaning they've been screwing them for a very long time, building a monopoly, thanks to a long history of selling them software and cloud services. But it has struggled to crack the consumer market, especially people under 30. Yeah, what happens when corporate customers have had enough and they're sick of it? I think it's been in the news the last 2 years. A lot of governments in Europe have abandoned Microsoft. And I think after companies see their success and more companies, advisor companies that help people, help businesses transition to Linux, or I was going to say Mac, but that's not exactly the best for business. I don't know. We'll see that grow. And the problem with gigantic companies is they don't move quick enough. We're a challenger brand in this area, and we're kind of up and coming. Consumer Chief Marketing Officer Youssef Mehdi said in an interview. Mehdi hopes to persuade key influencers to make Copilot their chatbot of choice. Yeah, right. It's not going to work. And then use their popularity to market the assistant to their millions of followers. He says Microsoft is already getting more bang for the buck with influencers than with traditional media, but didn't provide any metrics. Mehdi and the influencers mentioned in this story also declined to say how much they are being paid to promote Copilot. Do they even disclose that at all, I wonder? Plenty of corporations have yoked their fortunes to influencers in recent years. Back in 2020, Dunkin' Brands Group Incorporated partnered with well-known figure Charlie D'Amelio to launch a custom drink called the Charlie, which she marketed to millions of her followers. So I don't even know who that person is. That's the issue with influencers. Thousands of influencers routinely post about products sold on Amazon. And this month, the company invited several online personalities to the Council of Fashion Designers of America Awards in New York. Oh God, I don't even want to read about that disgusting person. Let's see what the comment is. This is their other article. Microsoft AI CEO. We're making an AI that you can trust your kids to use. If that doesn't tell you how evil they are, they really deserve it. They deserve to crash. Copilot is woke. People recognize this. Nice product. But until that is cleaned up, they will not be used. Nice product. Whatever. Alright, I'm sick of news. Let's check FedWatch tool. We are down from last week. Well, from Friday and from last week. It's not looking good for a rate cut in December. I don't think the markets are really watching this as much right now. I actually don't know. The current narrative. The returning government might help. We're even down for January. Alright, enough of that. Let's take a look at the overnight moves. Prices are up. It's been obvious all night that price action is in favor of buyers. But I don't know what's going on right now as far as what's feeding this. I think this is just a recovery, a slight recovery. I would say we're not going to pass that would be Thursday's high. Wednesday's and Thursday's high. This is the daily chart for the ES. Well, Wednesday's high was higher than Thursday, but Thursday's high. My charts didn't update. I know I updated them. We might not even get up to there. We have this huge area of resistance in the way right now that was formed Thursday night. That's right at when the huge drop started. But I don't know. Maybe traders will view government coming back as good. But I don't see how much that matters in the long term if AI valuations are in question, along with a lot of other things. We'll see. I will constantly be doubting myself. Yen Q also rose in the overnight pretty quickly, surpassing Friday's high. But it's stuck right now close to the pivot point, the main pivot point. To me, it does look like we will bounce off this and head higher. Not enough that I would trade on it though. Like I said, if I'm still quite bearish on longer term in the market. So if I'm bearish longer term, but bullish in the very short term, they kind of cancel each other out. Now I might scalp off that, but I would not hold for more than 5 points. The Russell also up in the overnight, a little bit more subdued, but also heading right into this huge resistance area that was also formed last Thursday. It's a pivotal area. I mean, if we make it past that, look out for last month's close at 24.90, and then current month high above that. The Dow, a bit more flat than everything else. In fact, stuck right now at the overnight open. Remember, when we do get a bull or a bear market, all the indices have to be in alignment for it to be a true bull or bear market. So I would say if we see the Dow recover over the next few days, sometimes the Dow and the Russell lead. It all depends. But if we see that in the next few days, that might have me pull my trades, my shorts, for now anyway. Let's check out gold. Gold is rising quite a lot. The narrative I saw with this is, let's see if they say it. Okay, that doesn't seem right to me. I think this is a wrong article. It says gold hits 2-week high as weak U.S. data boost rate cut expectations. What weak U.S. data? Are they going to mention the data? So they're calling it safe haven buying. Not to mention, that's interesting. Lowering U.S. dollar allows people overseas to buy more gold. But I don't. Okay, so just the jobs. That's the only data they're talking about. But again, the narrative for this increase in gold would be a weakening U.S. economy. But as you can see, ES and ENQ are raising as well. So one of two things are likely. Well, one of 100 things are likely. But what comes to my mind right away is either this is a fake pump in the equities, or this pump in gold is more from a weakening dollar than anything else. We'll see. And again, I'm kicking myself because I did a nice trade in gold. But if I would have held it, that's right, I had a feeling this would happen. I should have just held it. Again, reminder to myself, I need to plan trades. Not just enter with a long-term goal. If I don't plan them exact, I'm going to take profits early. Alright, but as you can see, gold blasted right through this resistance area, which also is the main pivot point for gold. So we're likely to see price come back down to that area to test it before continuing higher or breaking back below. Let's check oil. I don't know what this was caused by. Oil rose most of the overnight and then twice rejected. That would be... I gotta find a different way to arrange my time and sales so I can actually see my labels over here. Maybe I'll make my own time and sales. Okay, that would be Friday's high. Twice rejected Friday's high. But also staying above Friday's close. For oil, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have not been calling oil real well lately. And if I trade it, I only trade very short term. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. I have not yet put my own labels on Bitcoin. I'm still deciding what product I want to trade when I add it to my list of futures. I like the fact that it's open on the weekends. But yeah. Right now, Bitcoin is stuck at 106,538. We'll see what happens there. Last week, Bitcoin was kind of a precursor to I'll show real quick. Let's take a look at the ES. Maybe not last week, but like 2 weeks ago. This is the ES daily. The 10th of October, when we had that tweet, basically called Tweet Day or whatever. It was the truth. I don't care. Price pulled back quite a lot and then recovered. But if we looked at a daily Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin did not recover. Yep, as you can see. And it still has not recovered. That's the area we're stuck at right now. Even from last month, that's a significant area. But as you can see, let me zoom in. That was the 10th of October. Price still has not recovered to the highs of that day, despite recovering in the ES. But I don't know what's going to happen today. At this moment, I'm still bearish. I will not let one day change my mind. I don't know what I would need to convince me that we will make new highs. But that doesn't mean sometimes we don't need anything to make new highs. The new highs that were made, what day was that? Friday, Monday, at the end of October, all the times we made new highs. There wasn't really a reason. It wasn't on great news. In fact, you can see the sad amount of buyers at those times. I guess that's what I would need to see. Increasing volume, as well as real value being shown by companies. That's all I have today. Goodbye, good luck. I will be here tomorrow.